The messaging that kids get these days about their value based on their grades and their value based on whether or not they go to college and what college they go to is the most ridiculous racket I've ever been involved in my life. I think it's a bunch of bullshit to make a child. I had no idea what I wanted to do or who I was when I graduated high school at 17. 17. And these days, the kids are even less mature than we were. I mean, we were the first latchkey kids as a generation. We were the kids that took care of ourselves in a lot of ways, out till the street lights came in and on and, latchkey kids. And our kids, this generation of kids haven't grown up like that, but we're expecting them to know even more than we did when they graduate high school about who they are and what they want. And we had more choices than our parents did, but they have even more choices than we did. You know what? Our kids we have one freshman, and I couldn't believe that no one just goes for an undeclared liberal arts major anymore. No one applies to school for that. So if you want to get into a school, apply as an English major or a history major or a liberal arts undeclared major, and you'll get in because nobody does that because nobody wants to go in undeclared. Wow. It's not cool. It's not okay to not already know. That's the culture. It's not every person, but it's definitely the culture. And if you're not at one of these 2 or 3 schools, you're nothing. And I've experienced that culture having Isla with a learning disability, have teachers look at me and go, I don't know what you're going to do with her. And me go, she's very smart. She just doesn't read like everybody else. Maybe we should throw her out. Maybe we should flush her down the toilet. What do you mean? What am I going to do with her? Mm-hmm. What I'm going to do with her is find ways to shore up and scaffold around what she needs to get her out of this system. Because once she gets to be an adult, she's going to be fine. But the messaging she's had her whole life has been, you're either an A student or a failure. That's it. There's no middle. And that's a broken system, which also feeds into this vapid system of social media where if you can't get validation in the classroom, she doesn't have PE. There's no art in her classroom. There's no home ec. There's no shop. There's no woodworking. There's none of the stuff that we did, that we had, that maybe a kid that's not great at English would be amazing at shop and would run the shop team. Well, there's no opportunities for kids like that anymore because it doesn't exist in public education. Mm-hmm. And it's a crime. Mm-hmm. And I think it also contributes to nobody's being a cop anymore. Mm-hmm. Everybody's doing all this stuff on social media that gets them nowhere, makes them feel worse about themselves because they've spent their whole educational life, unless they're a top achiever, being a failure because that's the only choice in the culture we've created. That's been my experience of raising kids in public school today. There are teachers who aren't like that. But again, that's not the culture. That's not the culture. That's the specific person, just like you and I have this culture of let's help people. Let's be curious. Let's ask questions. Let's build positivity. But somehow that's not really our culture these days. Mm-hmm. We're the outliers. And we should not, our mentality, should is a hard word, but one would like to hope our mentality would be the mentality most people strive for, is to be positive and helpful and happy and to want to give and to want to make the world a better place. And I don't know if I'm a super positive person. I'm not a pessimist at all, give up. But it is hard to look around and go, wow, I might be the only one here that is like that, Not for long. I don't think so. I have great hope in people and I love people. Everybody who sits on this couch is a good person. Yeah. I don't think I've ever had a bad person. So that speaks to who we are too as a culture and a society.